Hi guys, how are you? So this week's question of the week is particularly useful if you're feeling guilty, maybe you haven't achieved everything that you wanted to achieve this week, or maybe you're beating yourself up and being a little bit overly self-critical. So this week's question is, what would you say to a loved one in the exact same situation? To utilize this question properly, what you need to do is you need to imagine a close friend or a family member in the exact same situation as you. They know what you know, they've done whatever you've done. Now, what advice would you give them? I really like this question for two reasons. Firstly, it gives us a little bit of emotional distance from our problems by allowing us to see ourselves through a different lens or from a different perspective. This in turn allows us to be a little bit more logical and a little bit more rational in our thinking. Secondly, many of us tend to be a little bit kinder, a little bit calmer, a little bit more patient with those we love than we tend to be with ourselves. Sometimes we need that when we're not feeling particularly motivated. I worked with a client recently who was stuck on a very important project. They were normally very effective, very conscientious at the task that they needed to do to get the project finished, but for some reason they just weren't feeling particularly motivated. They were having trouble getting this project over the line, they were procrastinating badly, and they were feeling very guilty. They were beating themselves up as a result. When I asked the question, what advice would you give to a loved one in the exact same situation? They paused for a minute and then they replied, take a break, mind yourself. There's no way you're going to feel motivated if you keep beating yourself up about this. Rest yourself for a few weeks, take some time to deal with those personal issues, then the motivation will return. So they heeded their own advice, took a break for 2 weeks, and when they came back to work, they were able to get the project finished with minimal procrastination because they'd given themselves the space that they needed. So next time you're beating yourself up for not feeling motivated, ask yourself the question, what advice would I give to a good friend in the same situation, and see if it helps. And the only issue with this question is that it poses another question. Will you take your own advice? See you next week.